everyone, I am Fitri Persnova Butar-Butar. In this video, I will explain the topic of podcasts. Podcasts are audio recordings that can be listened to by the general public via the internet. There are several platforms that provide a place for creators to display their podcasts. For example, Spotify. The public passion for podcasts has led many content creators to create their own podcasts. They can talk about whatever they want, from everyday chats, funny chats, educational chats to monologue. Then, the way to make a podcast is 1. Determine the topic. The first thing to think about is determining the topic you want to talk about. The best topic to choose is one that suits your passion or interest. 2. Create a name. Once you know what you want to talk about, the next step is to decide on a name for the podcast. You can use your own name or use a name that suits the big topic. 3. Determine the format. You also have to determine what format you want to use in the podcast. There are 3 formats that can be chosen, namely solo or monologue, interview or talk show, and chat or conversation. 4. Create an intro and outro. When you listen to a podcast, you will definitely hear the intro at the beginning and the outro at the end. The intro and outro must be made as attractive as possible to add value to the podcast you are making. 5. Write a script. Before you start recording, you should write a script first. The script functions as a guide so that the podcast can run well and smoothly. 6. Prepare equipment. After the previous 5 steps have been carried out, the next step is to prepare the equipment. For those of you who want to make money using just a cell phone, you can use applications such as Anchor or SoundCloud. You can also use the recording feature on your cell phone, save and upload audio. 7. Start recording. Once everything is ready, next is the sound recording part. Ideally, this process is carried out in a room that is not noisy, so that the sound product is clear and can be heard well. 8. Audio editing. After finishing recording, it is best to edit the audio first. Delete unnecessary parts and, if necessary, re-record certain parts that don't feel good. You can also add the right background sound to make the podcast feel more alive. 9. Cover image. On some platforms, a podcast usually has a cover. Therefore, you can create a design to use as a cover for a podcast. 10. Publish a podcast. If the audio file and cover image are ready, all you have to do is publish the podcast. You will include the podcast name, description, cover, and episode title. So, that's the description about podcasts that I can convey. Hopefully, this video can be useful for the audience. Thank you!